Hey, this is Bryce Harper, and welcome to the Philly Show.
Tomorrow Jr., Jim Salisbury, Todd Zolecki. It's the Philly Show. It's July 31st, 2025, but we are recording this on Wednesday night because the Phillies made a trade, and it's been a crazy day. And I'm flying back to Philly, 5 a.m. flight, guys, back to Philly tomorrow. It's gonna be a long day. It's been a long day. But
well,
the Phillies,
your flight, you missed your flight because of the rain delay.
yes,
right?
There was a 3.5-hour rain delay, so I was on an 8:45 flight. Not to bore everybody with the details, but so I had to get rid of that, get on a new flight, find a hotel. There's no hotels in town because it's Lollapalooza. There's a soccer game. It's crazy. The Phillies were kind of scrambling too, because if they had not been able to play on Wednesday, it's a big family trip, so they weren't even sure where they'd be able to get rooms and hotels and things like that. So, but in all of it, they made a big trade. They got Jhoan Duran from the Minnesota Twins.
I like it.
Big deal. What do you like it? What do you like? Well, you know what? Let's start like this. Let's do the Parks first pitch. Parks first pitch is brought to us by our friends at Parks Casino, Pennsylvania's #1 casino. So, Jim, what do you like about Jhoan Duran?
Big power arm. Got a little bit of postseason experience with the Twins, but
Right.
Dominant guy. He's had some good seasons. This is not his best season, but he's still young. I still think there's a lot there. Keeps the ball on the ground, doesn't allow home runs, gets some strikeouts. It's just their big need was a back ender, and they got one of the best guys that was available, one of the best guys out there. Paid a steep price in Abel and the catcher, Eduardo Tait, but I think you had to do it. You desperately needed to fill out that bullpen. So, now you go Kirkering, Robertson. You'll have Alvarado for a few weeks. You'll have Duran and, Strom. I just think one of the things I think gets overlooked is the fact the last 2 Octobers, we've pointed a lot of fingers at the offense. They go cold in games 6 and 7 against Arizona, and then they don't really hit against the Mets. But in both of those series, the bullpen was almost just as big of a problem, if not just as big of a problem. The Arizona game, the Arizona series, the New York series, big problems in the bullpen helped, lead to early October exits. I just think they have really strengthened their bullpen with this move. It's the move that everybody wanted the type of move everybody wanted Dave Dombrowski to make, a move designed to put your team in position to win the World Series. That's why I like it.
I also like it. I love it. In fact, they went for it with this move. I mean, when you're moving a guy like Abel and a kid like Tait, you're moving a lot of talent. And Tait's far away. And, that's one of the reasons why you can sort of move a guy like that. You just don't know how he's going to progress. He may end up becoming an all-star catcher. Who knows? Abel's going to be an immediate help for the Minnesota Twins and should be. But you got to give to get. And you got to give quality to get quality. And this is one of the best, there's very, very few lockdown closers and very few Mariano Rivera's out there. And this is really as good as it gets. I mean, anytime you get a guy with a 98-mile-an-hour split and a guy who puts the ball on the ground better than anybody, even more than I think our own Christopher Sanchez. He gets the ball on the ground a lot. And or close to it. And what was interesting is look at his numbers. They do get some hits against him. They do not hit the ball out against him. He gave up 1 home run the entire season so far, and but he gets outs, and that's what you need. And he's got an unbelievable power arm, anywhere from 100 to 102 mile an hour fastball, 4-seamer, 98-mile split. Doesn't look like he's got a ton of deception in his delivery, but the deception comes in the power. and they got a great one. Think about how they line up that bullpen now. Instead of Strom and Kerkering, think about that. Strom and Kerkering were like the two guys in the back end. Now they got Robertson, Duran, Kerkering, and Strom, and Alvarado's coming back, at least for a little while, not during the playoffs, but it's a real different look out there right now. Once Robertson's ready to go and Duran's, in Philadelphia pitching.
And you got him for 3 Octobers. And
That's right.
it's gonna be very nice to have that control and not have to be out there looking for a closer. The annual closer search will be paused, hopefully, the next few autumns or next few trade deadlines.
First time Rob Thompson has a closer. First time he has a closer, he's going to put it in the 9th inning.
Yeah, it was funny. After the game, we talked to Dave Dombrowski and Rob Thompson, and both of them immediately he is the closer. He's the closer. They got that out there immediately. They didn't even want to be asked that question. They were both like that. And even Bryce Harper said he's the closer. I mean, I assume he's gonna be the closer. And then there's a little pause. He's like, he should be. And we said, no, they said he's going to be the closer. He's like, yeah, he should be. He's really, really good. And he's really dominant, and he should be the closer. So that was kind of funny. Everybody wanted to make it very clear this is not going to be say goodbye to the closer by committee. I know that drives a lot of people nuts. It's going to be Duran in the 9th inning, no matter what. If it's a safe situation, it's not going to be, we're bringing in Strom here because this is the pocket of the lineup. It is going to be Duran. Dave Dombrowski also said that in all the conversations that they were having with all sorts of different teams about a closer, a lot of teams said a lot of those conversations apparently started with Andrew Painter. We want Andrew Painter. And Dave said, you're not getting Andrew Painter. And so I don't know if the Twins asked for Andrew Painter at one point and then moved off of him. But Dave said that they've been talking, obviously, for several days. It's not like they just picked up the phone today and talked to them for the first time. Right. But a couple of days ago, he had no real expectation that this deal was going to happen. And we were talking about this, I think, maybe just yesterday, early this week on the show, how it seems like those 2 or 3 days right before the trade deadline, everybody's like, oh, the prices are too high. And, the buyers are being unrealistic. The sellers are being unrealistic. And then when it gets closer, you find a meeting point, and it seems, obviously the Phillies and the Twins found a common ground. The Twins love the fact that Abel's going to be able to pitch in the big leagues right away, and there's the price to pay to get a couple, to get Duran. But
and we talk about how everybody slots down a little bit. It takes pressure off a guy like Orion Kerkering and Matt Strom, and that could make them better.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Yeah, they're pitching in the 6th, 7th, and 8th now.
Hey, that was First Pitch, presented exclusively by our partners at Parks Casino, Pennsylvania's #1 casino. ParksCasino.com is the website. You must be 21, and if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Phillies fans, whether you're sliding in at home or just chasing your kids around the yard, staying mobile matters. That's why we trust Rothman Orthopedics. From sports injuries to joint replacements, they keep you moving with top specialists who care for the best team and the best fans in baseball. Rothman's got your back, because at Rothman Orthopedics, your mobility is their mission. Visit RothmanOrtho.com or just scan that little QR code on your screen today.
Kratz, at some point, we're going to laugh about how healthcare was so reactive and not proactive. And we're starting to change that with Superpower. They believe every human has 100+ year potential, and they're here to help you get there. I'm a big believer in this. I just started the journey, so I'm excited about it. And what do you think?
As a player, you're always looking ways to improve yourself, improve your health. And this is an easy way. Superpower's made it way easier than when I was playing. You had to go get all these lab panels, and it was a long, drawn-out, expensive process. but now with superpower. So this is awesome for me. I'm excited about it.
They'll send a licensed professional to your home, or you can visit a nearby lab. For a limited time, the FT fam can get $50 off an annual Superpower membership by using code FOUL at checkout. Just head to superpower.com and use code FOUL to get our exclusive discount. Your biology decoded, your blueprint activated with Superpower. After your purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them, and please support FT and tell them we sent you.
So here's something to watch on Friday, guys. I want to get your opinion on this. Jhoan Duran with the Minnesota Twins his entire career has worn number
he's noticed that.
59. Number 59. You know who else wears number 59? The manager.
Our manager.
He'll give it up. He'll give it up.
I can assure you that the manager will be giving up his number.
I remember when the Phillies got Andy Ashby, and I mean this is going way back. And Galen Cisco was the pitching coach. Ruben, remember that?
Oh yeah.
And Galen wore number 43, and Andy Ashby wore number 43, and he wanted 43. So Galen gave up 43, and I remember, and they gave him some crappy number, you know. And I remember asking him about it. He goes, "I'd rather have a quality pitcher than a quality number."
Galen Cisco, what a beauty. What a beauty.
I think Rob Thompson will probably want to get off on the right foot and make Duran feel.
You never know, because he always wears a jacket or a pullover. So you never know what. I mean, who wore? I guess we used to see Gabe Kapler's uniform top quite a bit because he was in good shape. Rhino often was in great shape. Often wore a uniform top, but a lot of these guys wear pullovers nowadays.
Right. Tito, Charlie would always wear a pullover. I never saw Charlie really. I feel like, well, maybe he did wear a uniform. Anyway, well, that's what I thought that was funny. I was thinking about that in the clubhouse earlier. So, Dave Dombrowski, a couple other interesting things that he said. I mentioned Andrew Painter, and he kind of finally verbalized what everybody had been reporting and been saying for weeks and months and months and months. Andrew Painter will not be traded. He's not available. He is not available. So, if anybody's wondering,
definitely not now that Abel's been traded, because now you're really cutting into your upper level starting pitching pieces. And Suarez is probably going to be gone. They need upper level pitching pieces. And Painter's going to have to be in that rotation next year.
Right.
Like,
what do you? Right. So now they still have 4 of their original 6 top 100 prospects. So they still do have some guys. We take Painter out. They have 3 guys left: Miller, Crawford, and Arun Escobar. So they, that's the question now is Dave Dombrowski said, we're not done. We're not done. I think we all think they're going to go out and try to get it right. We're not done, but we're done in the bullpen. He says, if somebody comes and makes us a crazy offer that we can't refuse, of course, we'll jump on it. I mean, who wouldn't? But he said, the focus is no longer on the bullpen. We think that we're set there. So all signs point to bat, right-handed bat. Now that they've given up Abel and Tait, is Eugenio Suarez out of the picture? Are we thinking more of a outfield type? Yeah, I think Suarez is probably out now, right? I don't think they have enough.
Yeah. I would think so. I don't know that you can do 2 marquee caliber moves all along. I thought it was, one marquee move and a lesser move. So it sounds like, right-handed outfield bat type. You never know, but that's kind of the way I would think they're going. I don't think they're done. We have a full day left. It's an eternity. Mm-hmm. I think they'll keep trying to inch it along and, get that right-handed bat to just kind of augment the offense a little bit. I still think, I think there's enough here if these guys could somehow find some consistency. But if you can get that right-handed bat to help out a little bit, that would be great.
Who do you like, Jim? What do you think?
Oh, I like Laureano from Baltimore.
Yeah.
You know that. I've been talking about
him
from
weeks. I keep
hearing
that name. I think that name is a very strong name. Strong to very strong. Flow to heavy flow. Flow to heavy flow on that name. I actually do like that name too. He brings a good energy, good outfielder, can hit lefties, a little bit of protection from the right side. He's not Eugenio Suarez, but he can do some things.
But Lewis Roberts still out there.
Lewis Roberts still out there. That's a possibility.
Harrison Bader hits lefties. There's guys out there that are kind of those marginal tweaks, push it along. You've gotten your big stud acquisition. Now might be the marginal incremental improvement that we talk about all the time, that
Right.
Pat Gillick talked about all the time. As you pointed out, Todd, sometimes you don't get CC Sabathia, but you get Joe Blanton, and that pushes you along. So I think they're at the tweak stage, having filled their biggest need. And I think the bullpen was the biggest need ahead of offense. And they got something done. It really, I was thinking about they lost Tait, and they really, you got an aging catcher who's a free agent. They don't have a real catch. I know Marchand is here, but they're very thin on catching prospects now. But we have heard some chatter about this guy Farabus in Clearwater. And I'm just wondering if they like what they see in him. Not that Tait, an A-ball player, was going to hold up a deal for a difference maker that could make a difference in winning and losing in October. But I do think they like this kid Farabus. He's opened some eyes a little bit.
And I got to tell you, man, don't sleep on Marchand. If he can stay healthy, and that's a big if, but if he can stay healthy, man, he's really good behind the plate. He can really throw. He made a great throw on Robert. He ended up getting called safe on a switch over. And I just feel like this guy's a pretty damn good catcher, and they've got him under control for a long time. They've got 5 years on this guy.
So in terms of, let's get off the trades for a minute, although that's the spicy stuff people want to hear about.
Yeah.
Internal move coming. In other words, Justin Crawford.
I think Justin Crawford's coming on the 1st. I really do.
Yeah. Well, even if they go out and they get say for argument's sake, a Laureano, a Bader, somebody like that, you still think he's coming? It just a total outfield shakeup?
Well, if they do come up with an outfielder, then you're talking about you're probably ending up having to release the left fielder in Kepler. Yeah. And then you're talking about also sending somebody down. So you're probably sending down Weston Wilson, right? Because I don't think you're sending Rojas down. So Weston Wilson becomes the guy, the guy out, and Marsh becomes sort of the left fielder. Because Laureano can play center field.
Mm-hmm. I would like to see Crawford get a shot.
Could Crawford go to left and you stick with Marsh in center? We hear that's his best position.
I'd rather see what Crawford can do in center field, and then put Marsh in left, and then late in the game you could put Marsh in right.
That's what they should do.
Yeah, they should put Marsh in right. They should put, if Crawford's there in center and or Laureano and then Crawford in left, or whichever way. You got to get a better defense, because as much as you want to talk about Castellanos, him being upset about getting taken out of games, he can't move out there very well, and he can't throw.
Yeah.
He's not a good thrower. You're running on him all the time. I don't know when the last time he had an outfield assist. I don't really remember one. But he's not a good thrower, and he's not a great defender. He just can't – he doesn't have the foot speed. It's not about angles and catching the ball and all that stuff. He'll catch the ball when he gets there, but I don't think he has enough foot speed right now to be able to not defend for him, especially when you're talking about winning a playoff game.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's why I was so surprised when Rob kind of backed off that a couple weeks ago, saying, we're not gonna, I'm not gonna defense out for him late in the game. It's not really sure why, because his jumps aren't great. Like you say, he's slow footed and not really
I'm
throwing
going to
guys
be
out.
fascinated to see what happens because it's about winning games now. From
Right.
now until the end of the season, until the last pitch is made, whether it's whether it's at the end of the season or it's at the end of the World Series, it's about W's, baby.
Yeah,
And I don't
stakes-
care. And you're not, it's about wins and it's not about development and it's not about anything and it's not about feelings. It's not personal. It's professional.
It's about winning the World Series. That's why they made
Right.
this trade today. This is the type of
Right.
trade you make when you think you can win the World Series. And they need to start winning some ball games with some consistency. Since June 1, they are 25-25. That is mediocre. That is mediocre.
Yeah.
And it's almost like a carbon copy of last year when they were a 500 team after June 9.
It's time for them to take off offensively. They got to figure it out.
Yeah. They got to figure it out. Phillies, of course. So the trade deadline, guys, is 6 p.m. Eastern Thursday. So there are several more hours to go. No baseball for the Phillies. They're off on Thursday. Ruben, I always see you on your phone. You get the Parks app on your phone. So you can keep yourself entertained.
I got a lot of action.
Come
and
on.
I got to tell you, the one and only betting app that I'm going to use and the one I recommend to you guys and to all is the Bet Parks app. I mean, you can bet individual player performances, strikeouts, homers. When Detroit comes into Philly, you can do pretty much anything. You can go down, scroll, and hit sports. You can hit the actual game that you want to throw your money at. I mean, it's pretty cool. There's also tons of games that you can play. They got some pretty darn good, cool games that to play. There's Huff and More Puff, and so many different types of games to play as well. New casino users can get up to 1,000 cash back if you're down in your first 24 hours. See betparks.com for details. You must be 21 and in Pennsylvania, Jersey, Michigan, or Maryland. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. You love to play. You love to win. You bet. Bet Parks. And use that app. It's fun, man.
One more trade thing I'm going to ask you guys about. How about that pitching on Saturday? Tarek Scoop.
Sorry, you broke up.
You broke up a little bit, my brother.
Oh, I broke up a little bit. Saturday, you guys got me now. Saturday, pitching matchup: Zach Wheeler versus Tarek Skubal. That'd be a good one. So I wanted to mention that real quick. But Jim, you were talking the other day, and you talked about this last week on our show about how the players in that clubhouse were kind of hoping for something big to happen, and a big move to happen. They got it today, and Bryce Harper talked about it. So, Kyle Schwarber talked about it. Kyle Schwarber compared it to the move that the Cubs made in 2016 when they got Aroldis Chapman. He said, he's like, oh man, now that brought some energy into that clubhouse. That got us fired up.
Did Dombrowski get the standing on when he walked into the clubhouse?
He did not. It's so we've talked about this before, and it is still one of my favorite kind of like memories, trade deadline memories. And for those people that are new to the show, I will tell it. Phillies trade deadline, July 29th, 2009. They were going after Roy Halladay, and they going after Cliff Lee. They got Cliff Lee. It's before the game. And the deal's done. Everybody is super excited. The Phillies get Cliff Lee, and Ruben comes into the clubhouse, just struck this major deal, and he gets a round of applause from the players in the clubhouse. They were so excited about getting Cliff Lee. I specifically remember Shane Victorino standing and giving you a standing O. Jim, you were in there, right? I mean, you remember that.
I was not there. I was in
weren't.
Seattle chasing down Roy Halladay, making his last start for the Blue Jays. And they give Ruben a standing ovation in Arizona, and up in Seattle, Roy Halladay pitches his guts out, and learns that Cliff Lee is going to Philadelphia, the place that he wanted to be. And Roy had this unforgettable look of disappointment on his face after that game.
But that's right. That's right. You were up there following them along because that was the thing that was going to happen. And then Ruben had to put a little end around and got Cliff Lee and said, Ruben, what do you remember about that? I mean, that moment, that what a cool moment that was.
I have to say that was one of my cooler moments as a GM when the players acknowledged some of that stuff. That was really cool. You know, I felt like it was incumbent upon me as an executive to do it, you know, what you possibly can to try to make, you know, your contending team a real contender. And it was a lot of hard work from a lot of people. It wasn't really about me. It was about a lot of the scouts and the people that worked really hard to watch. I had people flying all over the frickin' place, watching game after game after game of every single high-end starting pitcher that might be available. And I mean, those guys just did a super job and they deserve a lot of credit. Really, the pro scouts were the ones that got it done. And just took a lot of phone calls, man, a lot of angst, but there's a lot of people involved helping me make that decision. But it was cool to be acknowledged in that way by the players. I felt a little bit like when I had players come up to me after I did not make the playoff roster in '93. I had several players, one in particular, Milt Thompson and Lenny Dykstra and some others, who came to me and said, man, you should definitely be on this playoff roster. You should be on this team. You got screwed. And when you have that kind of, when they have that kind of acknowledgement from your peers and from the players, that's pretty cool.
That's cool.
What was Harper's reaction to the Duran?
I mean, Harper, you know, I'll see if I can find the quote that I used in my story. And he basically said, it's huge. It shows that basically said he has faith in our ability, he being Dave Dombrowski, in this team to win games. We've got a really good chance to win a World Series this year. And then Kyle Schwarber said, whenever you make a splash for a high caliber player, that means something. And then he kind of talked about Aroldis Chapman. So, you know, Bryce was Bryce. He wanted to see something big and he got something big. And, you know, now, and he also said at a point, he's like, and we're not done yet. We're not done yet. You know, there's still more to do. There's still more to do. So I think he's also hoping that they can go out and get a bat and make some other upgrades of the roster because he wants to win the World Series. He said on Monday, I'll move out to left field if you can get the right piece. I don't think that's going to happen now at this point. You never know, but
they had not, you know, Dave had not made a move like this. This is by far his biggest, what's his fourth trade deadline? It's his biggest move at a trade deadline since he has been here, right?
Yeah. So a fifth trade deadline, right? 2021, he got like Kyle Gibson and Ian Kennedy.
Yeah.
Remember that? So you go back that far. Yeah. Yeah. That was 21, right? Yeah.
Was he here then?
I think so, right? Wasn't he? I think he was. Maybe he was. I don't know. Now you have me second guessing, Jim. But it's
11:15, quarter of 12, quarter of midnight in the East. But I mean, he hadn't made a move of this significance. And you know, I was thinking about something today. So when they signed Bryce Harper, Matt Klentak was the GM. And if you remember, they met with Harper out in Vegas, I guess it was. And Harper basically interviewed the Phillies front office, like Middleton, and he interviewed Klentak about direction of the franchise and, you know, convinced me this is a place I want to sign. And when I was at NBC Sports and we did that. Remember, we did that documentary, Todd, signing Harper. They used to show it in all the rain delays.
Every rain delay is like, you're signing Harper.
But at one point in that documentary, I was interviewing John Middleton for the documentary, and he made the comment that it really jumped out at him or impressed him actually about Bryce and Bryce's commitment to winning, that Bryce asked Matt Klentak, do you have the guts to give up young prospects and young talent and make that big move when we're this close to winning a World Series? And that quote has been kind of resonating in my mind recently. And you know what? They did. That's the type of move that you have to make. They gave up 2 good prospects and, that a lot of people would like to have. And they filled a very big need. A closerless team now has one of the best closers in baseball.
For 2+ years.
For 3 Octobers.
Years, yeah.
3 Octobers.
Yep.
Big.
Yep. So we will see what the Phillies do on Thursday. Deadline 6 p.m. Eastern. We'll be back either Thursday night, Friday morning. We'll wrap it all up. Guys, thanks for staying up with me.
Todd, you had a long
tough
day,
man. You're a grinder. You're a gamer.
Oh my goodness gracious. No, it was fun. I love doing it. So you guys are the best. I appreciate it. And we'll talk to you.
And we'll smell you later, boys.
Smell you, Jim.
The Philly Show is brought to you by the Foul Territory Network. Subscribe to The Philly Show on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. If you like us, give us a review. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, X, Facebook, and Threads. Find Ruben's analysis before, during, and after Phillies games on NBC Sports Philadelphia, on the Sports Radio 94 WIP Morning Show, and MLB Network. Find Jim at allphly.com. Find me at MLB.com, the Phillies Beat newsletter, and MLB Network.